Aloha, this is Dr. Summer Nicole, Yoga Doctors TV. I wanted to jump on because my husband and I were having a really interesting conversation this morning that I just wanted to share. We were talking about giving your power away. And, a lot of us think of like giving power away of like, if somebody were to boss you around and you were just doing whatever it is they wanted, that's a way to give away your power. I relate to that one in my first marriage. I kind of always did everything my partner wanted to do, and it left me like internally really frustrated. But it's not his fault. It's my fault. I was actually giving him my power, not speaking up for myself, not saying what I really wanted. So what my husband James and I were just talking about was actually that giving your power away can look like really having someone else or allowing someone else to control your inner state. So if someone else is controlling your inner state, or if you're triggered by somebody else and then you then blame them for however you're feeling, that is actually a way that we're giving away our power. So when we give our power away like that, what do we need to do? The very thing, the opposite of blaming, is actually taking responsibility for our emotions. And I know for me, it almost always comes down to parenting my inner child. Over and over again, parenting my inner child, because that partner or your friend or whoever it is you're in conversation with that triggered you, they're not necessarily going to be able to be the perfect parent to your little girl or your little boy that's triggered, and they're not necessarily going to know what to say that helps get you to like the root cause of why you're triggered. Only you can do that, and really only you in communication with your little boy or your little girl can figure out or really feel why it is that you got so triggered. And the other piece was really interesting. I was doing a little writing exercise for myself, is write down all of the ways that your mom parented, like the qualities of the way your mom parented, and then the qualities that your dad, how your dad parented. And then whenever you go to if you do inner child work and you're working on that kind of reparenting your inner child, what can be really interesting that shows up that I've noticed is the qualities that one of my primary caregivers, the way that they parented actually comes through in the way that my inner parent wants to parent my inner child. And so if you had a parent that wasn't necessarily present or didn't know how to communicate with you, or you felt or was maybe annoyed, by your being too much or feeling too much, then that can actually show up in the way that you respond to your inner child. And so it's like really looking at the ways in which parenting was modeled to you, because that's what your inner child knows, and it's not necessarily what works for them. And so reparenting actually has a lot to do with learning the new evolved way, the more compassionate way of really parenting the inner child, the way that they can receive it in a really authentic way. And this is a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about. So I created this new online workshop called Soma, and it's accessing the subconscious mind and the inner child through the body. So I'm really stoked to share it. So this is some of the stuff that we'll be going through, and it's just really interesting to me right now, and I feel really called to share it. So I hope this was some support to you. Please leave any comments or questions that you might have, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Aloha.